Welcome back to the Fit Soul podcast. I'm so excited to introduce my friend, and I call you a friend before I call you a client, but she's been a client as well, Rita Beverly, to the podcast today. Welcome, Rita.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to be here too. Rita and I have a lot in common. We both turned 50 this year. We're both health coaches. We've both been passionate about health and wellness for a really long time. And we've both had interesting conversations around midlife and what does this look like as far as fat loss and healthy lifestyle in midlife? Because Rita, it's just different than it was when we were in our 30s, is it not?
Yes, it definitely is.
Yes. So Rita is a health coach, and she is really passionate about helping women attain fat loss. And tell them a little bit about your business, Rita.
So I am a certified health and nutrition coach. I have a couple of different certifications, one through Precision Nutrition. I'm working on my macro mentorship certification and through the Sears Wellness Institute. And just my own journey through going into midlife and having things change in my body is just made me even more passionate about helping women as they're transitioning through this.
I love that. I love that a lot. And then another common thing that we have, that Rita and I have, is we both have faith in the Lord, and that's just kind of what pulled us together to. Rita is a leader in my Walkworthy mentorship. I always people look to her because she just has a lot of insight and wisdom. So, Rita, one of the things that we've talked about is, as far as our bodies changing and as far as some of what we need to do and shift differently, because what worked in our 30s and maybe even in our early 40s, maybe even 2 years ago, doesn't work anymore. And you and I've talked a lot about taking that integrative approach to our health, like really understanding your nutrition and understanding all of the different elements that affect and impact our health. So, what would you consider to be maybe if you've got somebody, if one of our listeners right now is struggling, they're in the midlife, whatever, 40, let's say 40 to 60, in that range, and they're finding that their body doesn't look like it, not even look like it used to, but they're having fat accumulate in their belly and some different areas, and they're just not okay with it. Like they don't want to give it up. What would you say to that woman that is struggling, and she wants to lose weight, but she's looking at everybody else that's about the same age, and most people are starting to accumulate fat in those same areas? And would you tell her that there is hope and that absolutely she can achieve fat loss as well?
Absolutely, 100%. It can happen.
You know what? One of the first clients I had in a program, she lost ridiculous amounts of weight right on, and she was 50. And she said something so interesting. She goes, I just thought I was supposed to have flabby arms and a big belly. I just thought that this is what grandmothers look like. She was a grandmother already at that age. Because I just thought that this was the body. And literally, she didn't know that there was another way. And she also felt better, and her joints felt better. And she just like had this whole life change over that. And hers was from nutrition and exercise, but there's many components that we're going to talk about. So Rita, what would you say is the number one component for someone in midlife that is wanting to achieve fat loss? What would you recommend that they look at first?
First, I would say look at your nutrition. Are
Mhm.
you eating whole foods? Are you eating a lot of processed foods? Are you, consuming a lot of sugar? Highly palatable foods that are super easy to overeat. That's the first place I would start.
Yeah, I completely agree. Um, and there's this whole thing of this is what I'm guilty of, and this is either under eating or overeating. It's like that. I struggle with both of them. And when we don't have an awareness around what we're eating, I find myself just eating. And I don't even know how many calories I'm consuming, but I'm still hungry. And even if it is whole food. So just like bringing that awareness piece to what am I consuming in my body? And what is your best recommendation for women to bring awareness to what they're eating so they can start to understand how their nutrition is impacting their body and the scales?
So I would focus first and foremost on protein because that's going to help us maintain our muscle. It's going to keep us fuller longer. And it's also the most expensive macronutrient. So it takes actually more calories to digest protein. It takes more energy for our body to digest it. And so we're burning more calories just digesting that protein. So I would focus on getting that protein because it will help you feel more satiated. The healthy fats, getting in fiber from fruits and vegetables, healthy, healthy fats from nuts, avocados, olives, coconut, just all those whole food fats.
Yes, agreed. 100% agreed. And how important is it, do you think, for someone that maybe they haven't been able to achieve this balance on their own? And they've really tried, and maybe they're even not eating a lot of processed foods, but they're struggling to figure out what to do because what worked maybe, like, again, a few years ago no longer works right now. And there's the whole nutrition is just confusing. Like, it is so confusing. You hear, okay, on protein. So how much protein do you eat? And what does that look like? You hear, eat a pound per weight, or eat at least, 100 grams a day. I mean, there's so many things. It's not as easy, Rita, as just throwing out a number for everybody. I mean, what do you think about that?
I agree. I think you need to have someone that can guide you, like you or myself, that can help you determine, what are your goals as far as your body composition? How do you want to look? And how many calories do you need to consume? What should you be consuming? Because it's easy to get stuck in this pattern, like you said, of either being on total deprivation where we have this all or nothing mindset and we can only eat these certain foods, and we undereat. And then there's also where we overconsume and our bodies get used to that over consuming, and then it's hard to eat less. So it's just, you have to have someone. I think it's super helpful to have someone to hold you accountable and to help you, kind of figure things out.
I completely agree. What would be so nutrition is important, and finding some structure and a proven plan. And because, I mean, the bioindividuality is so important here. What works for another woman that's my age doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. We all have such unique needs to our own body. So, I mean, having someone to break that down with you is really important. Okay, what are some other factors that could be some takeaways that are so important to overall fat loss and health here in midlife?
So our NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, just the movement and the steps we get all throughout the day, that burns the majority of our calories outside of just our body functioning. So it burns about 20% of the total calories per day that we take in. So we really need to focus on getting those 8 to 10,000 steps. And it also improves your mood. It does a lot of things for you.
Yes. Okay, so NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, is important.
Mhm.
And then, okay, what are some of the other elements, some of the other pillars of health here to think about?
Strength training. Strength training is very, very important. 3 to 4 strength workouts per week. And I'm not talking like Orange Theory boot camp style strength training workouts. I'm talking about lifting weights that are heavy for you, slow and controlled, progressive overload, strength training. As we age, starting at age 30, we lose 8 to 10% of our muscle mass per decade. So if we're not doing something to actively build and maintain muscle, then our muscle mass is declining. And that alone slows down how many calories we burn in a day. The more muscle mass we have, the more energy we burn.
So I want to just make a statement here too, though, because strength training and overloading your body can also be a boot camp. It can also be have you ever done Orange Theory?
I have not done Orange Theory
You
personally.
do weights in the back. And so I know somebody's going to listen to this and go, but wait, I can't do Orange Theory. I can't do boot camp. No, nobody's saying that.
No.
In fact, I think it's so important to do strength training. I am 100% with you. And if you're not getting the results that you want from your workout, I think it's important to shift them up. I have to change mine up. I get really bored, but gosh, Rita, can we just talk about this? Because you and I have both been through the ringer with injuries and recoveries, and it is taking us out. You had, gosh, was it a year-long freaking recovery from that surgery?
Yes. So I had surgery a year ago. I had some complications from the surgery that resulted in a couple of more surgeries, and I could not strength train for a solid year. And it was very evident to me at the end of that year, I had lost a lot of muscle mass. I mean, I walked every day. That's the only thing I could do. But I did lose a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm recovering at the time of this recording from a hamstring injury that happened. What is this month? It's almost October.
Mm-hmm.
June, 1st of June, and my hamstring actually pulled away from the bone. So it's a little bit more of at first I didn't realize until I got an MRI, I didn't realize how significant maybe the injury is, but now I'm understanding that I could be looking at a 12-month recovery. And so I've had to really regroup on what I'm doing with exercise, because I can't do the things that I love to do, throw a bar on my back and do my squats and do lunges and do the strength training things that you're talking about. I'm so limited, and you were so limited for a year.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. It doesn't need to stop you. It doesn't have to derail you. You didn't put on a ton of weight. I'm not going to put on a ton of weight. I mean, I know that I have to dial in my nutrition. I know that I can't play around anymore. Like it means business, and I'm walking a lot. So if you find yourself, because I feel like this is not uncommon at our age, is cumulative injuries or injuries that take a little bit longer to heal from, that there's still a way. There's still a way. And don't give in to don't give in to the idea that I just can't do anything at all. We can always do something. What can you do with what you've got right now?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm thankful I was able to walk. I would have gone crazy. I mean, that was my sanity,
No.
getting outside and moving my body. So I'm so thankful I was able to walk, and I'll regain the muscle. It's just going to take some time,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it was just a time of rest and recovery.
Yes. All right. Sleep. Let's talk sleep.
Yes. So a lot of women, as we age, we don't sleep very well. We have issues with sleep. It is sleep is when our body repairs and recovers. So if we are not getting sleep, we're not going to lose fat. We have to, some of the things that I do, that are super important, blue light exposure is huge. So screens at night actually increase our cortisol production and lower our melatonin production. And melatonin is what helps us fall asleep at night. So if you can get blue light blockers, if you are going to be on a screen, that can be super helpful. Reading a book, change up your evening routine. Don't sit in front of screens, turn off the phone, read a book, do some self-care, do a skincare routine, go soak in a bathtub. Magnesium, Epsom salts, magnesium salts are really great to soak in. They help the body detox, and the magnesium can help you sleep better. I also supplement with a magnesium supplement because magnesium actually can help relax the nervous system. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So good. So good. So good. So I'm hoping that if you're listening to this and you've kind of been struggling, that you're able to start hearing that you've got to take an integrative approach to your health. You've got to prioritize sleep, and your nutrition is key. It's the foundation of everything. And strength training for our age is crucial. If you are the woman that is doing all the less meal classes, and you're constantly in like an aerobics class, or you're a runner and you're constantly running. Listen, I'm a runner. I get it. but you're not getting the results. Doing the cardio queen thing doesn't work. And gosh, sometimes I just want to look at them and go, no, let's talk about your nutrition, and you got to shift up what you're doing over in here in the gym. It's just it's just sad to see sometimes, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
You don't know
For
what you don't
sure.
know. Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into your overall health and having health and vitality. And Rita and I are going to partner up, and we're going to help you achieve your fat loss goals and your overall goals, and help get you where you want to go. We're really excited about this. We're very much in alignment with how we view life, and how we view health. And we're excited about this, aren't we, Rita?
Yes, very excited.
So you will get a structured plan. You're going to get 2 coaches. You're going to get that oversight and that accountability. I think that's one of the pieces that you can't talk about enough, because accountability is a crucial part of making that change and making those shifts in your life, because somebody's watching and somebody's going to take an eye, because we'll do something for somebody else that we won't do for ourselves, right?
Yes. Yes. And I think taking care of yourself is, if you're not taking care of yourself and your health is going downhill, then you're no good to anyone else. So
Exactly.
you're really doing a disservice to everyone else.
Agreed. That's so true. And your health is your greatest wealth.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were they were talking about how they go through, and anyway, the conversation went to at Taco Bell they get all of these things. I was like, what are you doing eating at Taco Bell? Like, oh my gosh, no. What are you doing eating at Taco Bell? He's like, I know I shouldn't do it. It's just cheap and it's easy and it's this. And I'm like, and your health is your greatest wealth. It is just, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she was telling me about her friend in her 40s who had a stroke and then had cancer. It's like, there's some things that you can't control. There's some things that are out of our control, and it just sucks. But what we can control, we really need to be a good steward of.
Yes, I agree. And
Yes.
we can control what we put into our mind. We can control what we put into our body.
Come on now. Preach that. What's what you going, girl?
And we got to take those thoughts captive, because that's
Come
a
on.
huge piece.
You go, Rita. You go. Absolutely. So to learn how to work with Rita and I, you can check the show notes and book a call, and we will help get you on the right track. And then you can also find Rita online. Rita, your Instagram handle is Rita
Rita
Beverly.
Beverly Wellness.
Rita Beverly Wellness. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll also include that in the show notes as well here. And Rita's going to come back. We just wanted to kind of introduce what we've got coming up for you for this fall, and want to help you achieve those. I say that it's time to buckle down now. Don't wait till the first of the year. Like, go ahead and start to make those shifts and changes now. I think it's so much fun to do it right here in the fall. I really do. I think that every year. I think it's like the perfect time. And we want to help you achieve those goals.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. Check the show notes for all of the links, and also be sure to share this with a friend. Like, tag us on social media, put it on your stories. We'll both repost you. And I guess that's it. Rita, do you have anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No, I think that's it. Oh, well, with the holidays coming up, remember it's a day. The holiday is a day.
That's right.
Or maybe a party here and there. It's not the entire month. So
That's right. We'll have to reframe some of the ways that we look at life. We can celebrate.
Yes.
Yeah. And also celebrate with non-food victories. And, there's other ways to celebrate. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, all right, Rita, you are amazing. Thank you for joining today. It was so fun to have you on. We'll have you again. And I know you guys, these tips are great. Some of them are basic, but you know what? Common knowledge is not common practice. Just because maybe you know it and you're not doing it, let's get to doing it. Okay. Well, that is it for today. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.